Can you hear me okay? Sorry for being late. There's a reason. There's always a reason. So I updated my Streamlabs yesterday and it completely wiped out all of my sources, my skins, templates, if you will. So I have to start afresh. So that's going to be fun. But hi, everybody. So we're just going to wing it today, all right? In the name of missing children and Michael Vaughan. Hey, Heather, Lauren, TCE, Bryphony Martin. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Hey, Mr. Eve. He's trying to get Toddler Eve down. So my boys are home sick with something. Probably just normal everyday having to go to daycare or work, and I don't blame them. But either way, they don't feel good, and so this won't be an extremely long live that I'm hoping it won't be. But I wanted to, get all of the questions out there that people still have. It doesn't matter what question it is, just start throwing them if you really are confused about something, and we're going to answer them. Grammy 7, Linda Fontaine Pebbles, Aussie True Crime. Thank you so much for having me on your channel yesterday. I appreciate it. Oh, Carl Douglas, you better not come in here starting some stuff today, but thank you for being here. Dope Soul, Jeep Girl. And if anybody is watching the replay and I didn't mention you, welcome. You are important too. Thank you for being here. Hey, Ashley Oaks, Anissa, Barb. All right. Mr. Eve says the sickness. It's just the sickness. That's what he says about any time that he gets sick. It's like, it's just the sickness. I don't care what it's called. I don't feel good. Hey, Brooklyn, Dory. All right. So I want you guys to please, let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. Doesn't matter what it is. I'll try to answer them as best as I can, as well as people within the chat who have been wonderful and who had helped start this data collection information on trying to piece together what happened to Michael, right? So let's see what we got. Is my icon in the way of my face? Oh, well. You're going to see me one way or another. This is Michael Vaughan's case. Right. Hey, Lizzie B. And everybody who's on your troll accounts, you are welcome to ask questions too. I don't got to know who you really are. I don't care. Just ask questions so that people can get the clarification. I wanted to, if everyone can please give blue hearts for Michael and yellow hearts for our friend Miracle for Missing, who does the beautiful artwork for missing persons and missing children's cases. For instance, the ones that you see, Do What's Right, Not What's Easy, all of those, the one with Michael Vaughan for his birthday, she did all of that beautiful work. And without those eye-popping yet not overwhelming, style of artwork for Michael, I don't think that we would have captured the attention that Michael deserves. I really don't. So let's say thank you. I mean, this is the type of work she does. Beautiful. And not just for Michael, for a lot of missing children and missing persons. Isn't that gorgeous? And, these people and children deserve to have that attention, right? And she definitely did it. This is one of my favorite ones because he loves Gravedigger and so does my little one. So, yeah, she's very talented. Grammy of 7 says, not a question, but concern for case and crime after her visit here locally. Oh, case and point true crime? Yeah. So if nobody knows who that is, it's a creator who actually went to Idaho, Fruitland, Idaho, and kind of went through the neighborhood and the dirt roads and all of that stuff, and the cider plant and all of these places that are important to kind of see, so that speculation and theory can be done with that visual too, to clarify. So please go over to her channel and look at some of the things that she has done. She went through the tunnel on Whitley that comes off of Southwest 8th, right out of their neighborhood. Take a left, and there's a tunnel that goes under the highway. It spits you out right near the abandoned cider plant. So it was really, really cool to see her do that. She even showed the terrain around the Snake River, where it's really thick and boggy. I would be scared to death to get bit by a snake. And I do ground search for echo search, so I've seen some things, and I've been through the thick of it, into the thick of it. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be searchers by the river, but I'd do it. I sure would if I had the chance. Yeah. Yeah, Miracle's very talented. Hey, Pebbles, thank you for all of the hearts for all babies that are missing. Baby Eve just said gravedigger. Oh, he's got a whole gravedigger, one of those, ones that you can charge up and use the remote control to hit my ankles. Hey, Julia T. Julia T. Tyler's Polly was in February, correct? So where did he go when he was taken in the police car first few weeks, and why? That's a good question. By the way, Julia T, are you in Discord? Do you use Discord? Rainy days, do you think it's possible that whatever happened to Michael happened earlier in the day? I do feel like it's a possibility that maybe the timeline could be, but because Tyler saw Monkey and potentially the oldest boy, we don't really know. We don't really know what is absolute fact, because we can't prove it, right? So, but I do think that there's a huge possibility it could have been earlier in the day. I've done a ground search by the river for another case a few years ago, and I never seen so many spiders. Right, and snakes. Snakes love living on the riverbanks. No, she says no. Okay, I was just wondering, because I thought that maybe you were in my Discord, but I couldn't connect the two. Dope says, Julia, the Polly was in the first few weeks, not February. February was when he had his Miranda rights read to him. Yes, and Thistle when searching, yeah. So, did I miss anybody's question? If I do miss it, and you see that there's been at least, a few lines of people, chatting, go ahead and repeat it. We have rattlesnakes and they love the hot weather. Right. Like, what are those things called? The black and yellow kill a fellow, red and white. You'll be all right. What are those? Those are the itty bitty snakes. We have those in Texas, and they love to live around that pond area. And I remember our dog like grabbing it and shaking it one day and bringing it up to us like, look what I got. Scared me to death. All right. So I wanted to kind of go over something. I'm going to make a video about what has been said about the neighbors. All right. I think that a lot of people are like, what about the neighbors? If there were so many that saw them, why are we not hearing from them? What do we know? What do we not know? And so I do have a video that I made about one of them. If you're in Monkey's house, you walk out the door to the right, which is the house on the corner of Southwest 9th in Arizona. That neighbor came out and publicly spoke on behalf of Robert Lee Vaughan, who was the grandfather, and said that, thank you for the support. And they wanted to make it well known that they are appreciative of the searches and the support to the family. Now, there was a neighbor within the community. Her name was Cynthia Walker. And it's funny because I put her video out, I think earlier. It was either March or April. that I did that, but I'm going to play it anyway, just so that you can get kind of an idea of what neighbors that we know of spoke out. All right. Give me just 1 second. Let me pull that up. Uno momento. Mr. Eve, I hope you and baby Eve are feeling better. I feel so bad when my boys are sick. Makes me sad all day. I just want them to feel good, and be healthy and all that jazz. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now we're working. It's so weird to not have my OBS like the way I want.
Continuing coverage of this missing boy in Fruitland. The search continues this morning for 5-year-old Michael Vaughan. He was reported missing Tuesday night around 6:30 near Southwest 9th Street and South Arizona Avenue in Fruitland.
Today's search, and they're asking for the community's help now, comes after a full day of searching yesterday from the air, on the ground with K9s. People from multiple agencies went door to door yesterday. They talked to neighbors, they searched fields, searched yards, and all in hopes of finding this little boy. Neighbors say they learned about the 5-year-old's disappearance around 7:30 on Tuesday night. They say Michael is a happy kid who lived in this neighborhood with his parents and his grandfather. Cynthia Walker lives in the neighborhood. She was walking her dog as the search was happening.
At 5 years old, I don't know that he would wander too far without one of us seeing him by now. There are volunteers, many volunteers out searching, scanning the fields, and we just want to have Michael back. We want him home safe. We're just praying for the family, praying for Michael.
A code red is in a
Okay, so that was Cynthia Walker, and she lives in the neighborhood, and that's what she said. She was saying, basically, we would have seen him by now. If he wandered off, we would have found him. I'm sorry that I had to hide Carl Douglas. I don't like blatant lies on this channel, so we're not going to do that. His name is not Thomas. We're not doing it. Not today, not tomorrow, not after breakfast. So whatever Carl said, just hide it. Just vomit it out of your brain. Hey, Carrie. Hybrid Pisces, location different, but this case reminds me a lot of Dior Cunts. They're very, very similar. Yeah. And Summerwells too, in some instances. So that was Cynthia. And then again, the other one.
For Michael right now, he is considered an endangered missing person. And obviously we all have very high hopes.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So let me go to my video on the Southwest 9th in Arizona. Neighbor, 1 moment. If you've already seen this, oh look, no monetization. Even though I get blamed for it and all. Kick rocks, haters. You don't know snit. That's what we're gonna say. Oh wait, you don't know. I'm getting used to it, okay? Still working on it. All right, let's go.
And dogs are still searching the rest of the area.
He's an amazing little boy. Your typical little 5-year-old, very curious, inquisitive.
Jen Newman is a neighbor of the family and has been speaking publicly on their behalf. She says the family is beyond thankful for the community's support and the efforts to find their son.
Just fun-loving little dude.
Jen Smith Newman just saw Michael on Monday night. She lives next door to the family. She says Michael's grandfather asked her to share this statement.
He wants the community of Fruitland to know that they are so very grateful for everybody coming out, lining these streets, these fields, looking for Monkey. The show of this community has been so amazing. There's just so much gratitude and thankfulness from the family that They wanted it to be known.
All this as the family is still waiting, hoping for answers as to what happened to their little boy.
The community, have you guys been told otherwise about being cleared?
We are working with law enforcement 100%.
I kind of feel bad for this. I'm going to be honest with you. But the reason why I put this out there is because I was thinking to myself, okay, the neighbor, are you helping with Buggy? Obviously not. Were you just trying to contain? What were you doing? What were you doing during their interview, going in and out of the garage? You know, I'm going to speculate. I'm going to speculate on that. Doesn't matter, says the good old Monday night comment. Am I losing control of my chat? Sorry if I am. I don't believe Grandpa was out all day. Right. I would like to know if Bob did leave the house, what or whom was in the truck. Now, I would like to know, on top of that, Jeep Girl, I would like to know why the trailer was sold in September of 2021, where it went. Was it tested? Did it have any evidence to suggest he may have been in there? You know what I mean? Like, it would be really nice to know. Dope Soul says, law enforcement is still looking to identify the driver of the Honda Pilot. Correct. Why is the family so sure it's misdirection? Yeah, that was an interesting comment from Brandy for sure. True crime is sharing theories and going over timelines, etc. You care about cases. I really do, Carrie. Thank you for your comment. I do. I have gone completely broke starting this channel. I will admit to you, Mr. Eve can probably tell you, I have been a pure burden financially, but it will, I believe that it will pay off no matter if it's financially or tip wise or knowledge wise. You know, that's going to help. Not to mention I had to get a job. Lord, y'all. But anyway, enough of that. So let's talk about neighbors. This is what the majority of the content's going to be while we're waiting on questions. Let me go into the chat. We'll get into, oh, hi, Margaret. She says, in bed listening as the C virus got me. Love from Scotland. I'm sorry, Margaret. I do believe that my boys have COVID because of the cough that they have. It reminds me of when I had it, 3 times? But it seems like they're fighting it normally. It doesn't, they're in pain, right? And they're coughing, but it doesn't seem like what it was at the beginning. So I hope you feel better. Please drink your water. Your fluids are important. Hope you feel better. Julia T, does Tyler normally carry a whistle? No, I highly doubt it. I believe that he got that from what I'm hearing. He got that, or Buggy, the little one, got that from one of the police officers as a gift, but I'm not completely sure, but I would assume that that would be correct. Alicia, my husband and I just got over it for the first time end of June. Oh, Mucinex DM. Mucinex is really good for if you have a very deep cough. I love Mucinex, but what's even better than that is Vicks 44 DM, baby. Mr. Eve knows what I'm talking about. Vicks 44 is a whole nother level. I swear to y'all, Mr. Eve drank half the bottle when he got COVID. Do not do this. Follow the directions on the Vicks 44 DM bottle. But I swear, he drank half the bottle. And he was right as rain the next day. And I was like, good God, your kidneys are going to fail. But Mr. Eve is Mr. Eve. Can't tell him nothing. Yeah. All right. Let's go to what we're going to do is I'm going to try my very best to pull up the spaces that was done in December 19th specifically, was a very informative and confusing, I might add, Twitter Spaces. It is long, so I'm going to try to find the timestamps of the neighbor talk. I do have a transcript that I have to kind of follow, so give me just a moment. Excuse me, I'm going to start playing it, so give me just a second. One moment. I need y'all to jam out while you wait for me. Thank you so much for your patience. Let's get down while we wait. It's DJ Eve in the house. Put your hands up. Man, that was baller. I was enjoying myself. I even forgot I was on live, y'all. Just kidding, just kidding. All right, so here we go. I don't have, it's downloaded, so it doesn't have the actual recording of the spaces where everybody's, got their hand up to speak and all that stuff. So it's just the audio. So let's get into it. Let me know if you can hear this in 3, 2, 1. Launching. You can do this. Computer. All right, here we go. Which was fine because she went to bed. So hear that? Hopefully she doesn't want to do the 3 o'clock a.m. thing. Well, maybe. Well, if she didn't take a nap, maybe she'll sleep longer. Hopefully. I know it's a little jumbled. I just want to make sure you can hear it. Getting the last of her 2-year molars. It's been just a pleasant dream lately. Wonderful. I get it though. I don't do it well with toothache either, so.
me get to my notes really quick. Alrighty.
Okay, so to give you some context, not content, context. This is a December 19th Twitter Spaces to clear up some of the misunderstandings, I will say, about, oh, Carl, for the love of Pete, for the love of Carl, would you just not? I can't with you. Oh no, Heather, I took away your mom. Wait, I messed up. Okay, you're a mod again. Oh, Grandma. Brooke, thank you so much. I can't with you, Carl. Thank you. I can't. I just can't take it. Like, spam in the chat. It's probably the Wanda. Heather, you're back to good graces. How dare you question me for 0.35 seconds? Just kidding. All right. So again, this is this December 2021 Spaces with the lovely lady who ended up recording Brandy about the timeline issues because she was kind of worried about some things going on and what was said. And Twitter Weasels. If you don't know who the Twitter Weasels are a beautiful group of people who I eventually joined to record the spaces to kind of analyze them and make sure that the information was matching up to help find Michael and to help find Michael only. And that was it. That was it. Cursed with Curiosity seems nice and happy here. It really is. I mean, if you hear me go, but what do they call it? Ham? These youngsters. If you see me going ham, which I don't think anybody has truly seen it yet, there's something wrong. You need, I didn't take my medication, but I do try to keep it even keel. All right. So again, Crystal is kind of hosting this thing. And Brandy's going to talk about specifically here the neighbors. All right. So let's get into it.
Basically, we just wanted to clear up some of, the rumors and the speculation that was going on all over Twitter today, the timeline, and then the questions that keeping in mind that
Hey, Bullhorn Betty. Everybody give a warm welcome to Miss Bullhorn.
Cannot be released to the public yet, which hopefully we'll understand that because, there's certain things that law enforcement can't disclose right now or the family disclose, so that it doesn't jeopardize the case or anything. But Brandy wanted to clear things up because from the beginning she's been an open book, and everybody was, speculating and coming up with different theories and
Thank
stuff.
you, Brooke, for the super sticker, love.
She wanted to do this so that she could clear up and answer questions if she could to people that had questions.
Barb, yes, I did.
But as far as the timeline, there's a lot in the stuff that say 7:30 for law enforcement being dispatched. That's not when the actual 911 call came into them. That's when they realized that this was serious and they needed more help, and that's when they called in other agencies to come and help for Michael. So the actual 911 call was placed at 7:10 p.m. Correct, Brady? Correct. Okay.
I want to make it very clear that you just heard that Brandy stated that the 911 call was placed at 7:10 p.m. All right. We know that that's not true. We know that the 911 call per Payette County 911 call log records state that it was 7:21 p.m. Do we know who called 911? No. Did we request, specifically a few ladies, including myself, did we request, the body cam footage and the call log detail of that 911 call? Yeah. Denied. Denied, because it's part of a criminal investigation. And totally makes sense, right? Was I upset to not get the call log detail? Well, of course. But we know why we have to do those things, why we get denied. So no one knows who called 911, Tristan. That is correct. Now, what we do know that Brandy stated and what Tyler stated is that Tyler called 911. The places where he called and the timelines has changed. Okay. But the fact of the matter is that I don't think it should be known. I don't. At first I did, but because it's hinting to the fact that because the 911 call is part of the criminal investigation, we don't want, that to ruin the chances of taking someone and putting them behind bars if they were involved, right? Dope Soul says, I'm going to give Tyler the benefit of the doubt that he called until I hear the call. Right. And the problem, I do need to make a correction really quickly. When I had Verizon, guys, a long time ago, 8+ years ago, maybe even longer, the 911 calls that I made, I had to grab them for an insurance claim or something. I think I got into a wreck and I called 911 and I had to get that information. And it was just pure as day what time I called, right in my call log. But privacy laws change and policies change within companies. And I do believe Verizon merged with somebody. But now it will not show up on your 911 call log. It will not show up on your call log details when you go online to look at the list of numbers that you've, dialed. But what you can do is fill out a form, send it to Verizon, and request that information to be sent to you via USPS, and usually takes about 4 to 7 business days. All right. Now, I don't know if no one knew that over there in Fruitland. I don't know if that was requested or if the main account holder, who has to request it, by the way, the main account holder, maybe that's what one of the search warrants were. I don't know. That's speculation. That is not fact. But it could be done. It could be done. And that could have been verified. We do know that, Brandy had spoke to one of the detectives to clarify that 911 call time, and they confirmed. So just want to make that clear that what you just heard is not the 911 call time at 7:21 per Fayette County. I highly doubt they would lie. Constance says, does anyone have the dispatch transcript? No, nothing. No, they did not. So Fruitland, they don't have that dispatch on the scanners, a police scanner. It's, I think, Fayette County Sheriff and Sand Hollow Fire and Rescue. So we can't hear that stuff, right? They were pulled down, right? You can't hear any of that stuff. And I don't even think Fayette County has specific city scanners like it used to, but Fruitland is not on there. Fayette is not on there. Nampa, you don't hear anything. You only hear Weezer and all that stuff. You hear Ada County, and cities close to New Plymouth, the ones closest to, I think, Ada and Washington, but you don't really hear much about Fayette County. It's weird. So Fayette was on Stop Crime and they pulled them down. Dope, do you know if they pulled them down after Michael went missing? That's very interesting. Tristan asked, so Tyler called Brandy first. What time was that at? So allegedly, Brandy, per the call log, so I'm going to say that this is trusted. Can call logs be manipulated? Yes. Yes, they can. But I'm going to assume that those call logs were legit. And Brandy states that Tyler called Brandy at 7:05 while he was jumping in the vehicle to go and look for Michael down at the splash pad. All right. It's just, anyway, it lasted for 8 minutes. So from 7:05 or 9 minutes, from 7:05 to 7:14, they were on the phone. All right, let's continue with this because it's going to probably take some time to maneuver through this very long call. It was 3 hours and 34 minutes, and I'm not going to play the entirety of it, but it might take a minute for me to skip ahead to the meat and potatoes of the neighbors. All right.
So Michael was seen on one of the cameras at 6:37 p.m. from one of the neighbors, right?
One of the neighbors saw him at 6:37 p.m. Michael was never actually seen on any camera. It was all physical neighbors that saw him outside of our home.
Okay. p.m. from one of the neighbors, right? And that's when they called in other agencies to come and help for Michael. So the actual 911 call was placed at 7:10 p.m. Correct, Brady?
Correct.
Okay. So Michael was seen on one of the cameras at 6:37 p.m. from one of the neighbors, right?
One of the neighbors saw him at 6:37 p.m. Michael was never actually seen on any camera.
Okay, so you all heard that, right? No one actually saw him on the cameras. She said it was 6:37 that one of the neighbors saw him. So, excuse me. This is important to me because after this space, it really gets tricky, guys. It really does. It gets so mixed and muddled and aggressive, and almost, to me, it almost feels like it was intentional, like super intentional. So we have to remember from what Tyler most recently said on his post interview after the presser on the 22nd, that he ordered the pizza at 6:40. Okay. Now, JD Huff also stated and has stated after, the first presser that he was last seen at 6:30 p.m. At first, it was Southwest 8th, Southwest 9th, Southwest 9th in Arizona. But the latest and greatest is that he was last seen around his home at 6:30, at his residence at 6:30. Now, he's stating that he called the pizza in. We have recording that Brandy states, "Oh, I forgot you ordered your pizza online." All right, whatever. The fact of the matter is that he either ordered or completed his order at 6:40. So you have to think of that 10-minute potential window, right? Now, we also have to remember that JD Huff states in the most recent presser that from 6:40 to 7 p.m. is the new time frame of whatever happened to Michael that led him to be away from his home, right? They shortened that window to 6:40 to 7. And it always makes me wonder, okay, are you suggesting, JD Huff, that potentially he was taken away from his home, however that is, as he was ordering the pizza, right? I need brainstorming. This is one of these brainstorming sessions. So I would love to see what everyone's thought processes are on that 10-minute window. Let's just start with that, the 6:30 last seen to 6:40. That 10 minutes. Do you think it's a possibility that 10 minutes could have been the actual time frame? Or does it make no Where's my voice? Does it make any sense? I need your honest opinions, not just to placate to me or anybody in the chat. Just what do you think? Lauren says that's a pretty precise time for seeing the neighbor's kid. What do you also think about the CCTV footage when she states that there was no CCTV footage capturing Monkey? Pebbles. Okay, so it don't make sense. It just doesn't. Like, it just don't. Margaret's like, no sense. Leisha, no sense. No. Brooke, no, it's effed up. I can't make sense of it. Is the neighbor dating the grandfather? Tristan, I have no idea. I don't know. Which one, right? Even if we knew. When's the last time Dad saw Monkey? It was from the latest and greatest that he says. It was on his way out from Buggy's room to go smoke a cigarette in the garage. He was on the couch playing his Nintendo Switch. I'm going to assume that was 6:37 dope. I mean, honestly, I'm assuming that because he said he called in the pizza order at 6:40 and left the room, let's say 6:40, he saw Monkey. Or 6:42. Let's give him a 2-minute window, right? So maybe that's why the 6:40 to 7 time frame is out there. Hey, Miracle. We gave you a bunch of hearts earlier, shouting you out for your beautiful artwork. She's not feeling well, and everybody, please, again, give her some yellow hearts, please. Feel better. Dope Soul. Tyler last saw Monkey at 6:30. So that's when, okay. To clarify, 6:30 goes into, that bedroom, rouses, this is his words, not mine, rouses the baby to get her up. It took a minute, change her diaper, order the pizza, then go outside, smoke a cigarette. And here's the funny part. We're going to go to the backyard because even though he saw Monkey on the couch, he goes to the backyard. Now, I did hear a recording that was happening in February, excuse me, where Brandy clarified and said that he didn't notice Monkey on the couch on the way out. But he didn't say that in the presser, so I'm just letting y'all know that. And so maybe that's why he went to the back to be like, well, he's not here. Then he goes inside, says, oh, I don't see Monkey with the brother. And I'm like, well, where's Kira at this time? But we'll get to that. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Blue, the oldest. So here's where it's like, what the ever-loving can we work with, right? Pebbles asked, when the oldest got home, did any of them see him? All we know is that the oldest, Blue, says she did not see him after she left for color guard practice that day. Okay. All right, let's continue, and I'll try to keep up with the questions and write them down as we go.
It was all physical neighbors that saw.
Let me go back a little bit.
Walk him or watch him by neighbor. Never was seen on one of the cameras at 6:37 p.m. from one of the neighbors, right?
One of the neighbors saw him at 6:37 p.m. Michael was never actually seen on any camera. It was all physical neighbors that saw him outside of our home.
Okay. So he was seen at 6 by neighbors. With these neighbors that he knocked on the door with, they did either walk him or watch him walk to his yard. It's not like they were like, oh, just go home. they physically walked him or watched him walk to his yard. And then
one neighbor did, yes.
Oh, just the one did.
So I want to mention that, of course, you're hearing Brandy and the woman who was close to Brandy, who the recordings came from, right? She was even like, wait a minute, we have been going over this. Let me get my voice, Mom. We've been going over this timeline right before this, and I don't know how long before the spaces. And she's still going, wait. Oh, and it changes. I just want you to know that. Dope's like, I'm trying to answer you all as quick as possible. I knew there was going to be a lot of questions. Woke a baby for a diaper change. Yes, birdies. I'm going to help you out as much as I can, Dope. All kids were home then, correct. Oldest came home from color guard, took a nap, and then left again. Oldest brother played video games with Michael and then went to his room to be alone during the day. Yeah, and that's just, from what she has said on Spaces. When was Tyler supposedly playing hide and seek when he jumped out at the teenager? As Blue, the oldest, was coming into the home. And Grandpa? Oh, we'll get to Grandpa in a second. I'm going to write it down and play that video again. Y'all, you guys, if you please, hit the like button on this live. Appreciate it so much. Brooke says, but at the time he had ordered pizza, he had not seen Michael. No, he wasn't looking at Michael as he was ordering the pizza. He noticed after the fact. Right. All right, let's keep going. I'm going to kind of help the chat understand where we're at. All right. Let's go.
Just the one did, yes.
Okay. I had that wrong. I apologize to everyone. I had that part wrong. But then he went down the street to the east, and his scent ends at the corner of that street.
Correct.
He didn't make it around the corner as what Brandy has been told.
Correct.
And that's where the scent ends. So he wasn't at the park. He was never at the push pad, which is the same thing. He was never there.
Yes.
The pizza man.
Okay. Tyler ordered pizza at 6:40 p.m. Okay? He ordered from Domino's. There's a timestamp. It shows you on when you order your pizza what time you placed your order. He paid over the phone. The pizza person was interrogated. They went to Domino's. They talked to the owner. They talked to the pizza delivery driver. The pizza delivery driver dropped off the pizza somewhere between 7:15, 7:20, I think. I couldn't honestly tell you because people were screaming all over the place, and my neighbor, I'm pretty sure one of my neighbors, not sure which one, put the pizza in-house on the counter, and that's where it sat for 4 days. So yes, the pizza delivery boy has been looked into. We ordered from Domino's. There's a timestamp on the pizza boxes that says 6:40 when he placed the call. So, yes, the pizza delivery man has been investigated.
Now, I want to make sure Dope Soul and anyone in the chat, Jeet Girl, anybody, that when she's speaking about the scent that ends at the street, that it's Washington that we're speaking about, correct? Yeah, it's not funny. I agree. It's not funny. I want to make sure it wasn't, because now my eyes are crossing, that it wasn't Southwest 9th, that it was actually Washington and Southwest 9th. South Washington, excuse me. Anyone else watch Donna Serafina's reading? Yeah, I've actually done a reading on top of her reading. It's phenomenal. Yes, she is saying Washington. All right, so she was stating that the scent ended South Washington, the corner of South Washington and Southwest 9th. All right, so let's take a look at that. See, that's right here. Now, at the beginning, they were saying that he was last seen, excuse me, at the corner of Southwest 9th and Washington. All right, just wanted you to know that. And then it changed from there to on the street somewhere on Southwest 9th to just the home. They just said he was last seen at the home, y'all, at 6:30. Keep that in mind. Yeah, Southwest 9th in Arizona. Okay.
As far as car dealerships and them looking for the Honda Pilot.
They have had people from all of the local car dealerships coming to the police department to help them identify over 400 vehicles because they can't get license plates or the makes and models. So they basically are going off a picture of a car going down a road, and they've had multiple people from car dealerships coming in to help on their days off of work. And to add to that, the electronic billboard that has been running in Ontario, Oregon since August, which is still continuously running with Michael's missing information on it, has been donated by one of the owners from that specific car dealership. He's been paying for that billboard. So, yes, they are looking into cars that have been returned. They are looking in. They started with the county, Payette County. Every Honda Pilot between 2016 and 2020 that's registered. They've looked into every single one of those. Every single vehicle that was on the camera. If they couldn't identify it in our neighborhoods,
His love for
to every single person in the neighborhoods. Hey, do you know this vehicle? Was this vehicle by your home? Or a pizza place I used to work for. So at the time, around 8 p.m., when the search was going on for Michael, she delivered to a pizza into Cornwall Way, and they found her car. They found her. She doesn't pay it. I know this young lady. I've known her for many years. They went, beat on her door, and asked to search her house. Of course, she said, "Here, yeah, go right on ahead. I used to babysit him, right?" But they're figuring out where every single one of those cars were and that Honda Pilot is the only one they have yet to been able to identify.
Which is why I had said something to the people that had the timelines where they were asking for the Blue Avenger and then the Jogger, because they both came forward, correct?
Correct. Well, funny thing about the Blue Avenger, they actually didn't come forward. Fruitland PD finally hunted them down and found out it was a teenager, and just kind of, well, I figured if you wanted to talk to me, you'd come talk to me. Like, seriously, dude? The parents were like, "Hey, that's your car. Well, let's go tell them, hey, yeah, that was you. You turned right on Whitley. We're going to a friend's house, or you just dropped off a friend at Hidden Meadows, and we're headed home. Thanks, dude. They wasted all that time trying to figure out who you were when you could have just said, yeah, that was me. We went out and played basketball. They verified that, their alibis, all the kids that were in that car, they verified that alibi. So, and then the jogger did come forward. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm a jogger. Yeah, I remember that night. That was me.
So to recap on that, I have to make it go faster because we don't have a long time. Right. So we have to go fast. If you need to replay it, I'll try my best to put the timestamps in for you guys, and you can slow it down if you need to. However, we've got to kind of rush through some of the, to me, insignificant things, but please, if you have a question, put it out there. So basically the jogger came forward. The Blue Avenger was reached out to, and then they talked to them. And I guess he was, to Brandy's words, he was a little sassy pants. Went and dropped off a friend in the neighborhood at Hidden Meadows, which is up here. So I want to make sure that everybody knows this is Monkey's house. And Hidden Meadows is right here. right here. All right. I'm going to read the chat. She does sound slightly annoyed, to say the least. But yeah, if there's misinformation that you're stating as fact on here about my Monkey's case, we will have to, let you know or correct it. But if it's habitual and intentional, like I know this, then it's going to be deleted after warning. Okay. Yeah, I'll slow it down. Let me get to the part that I kind of want to hone in on. 1 second. So here we're going to talk about, we're going to skip the warrant stuff. Okay. Because it's really not, and we're not going to get anything out of that right now.
I want to say over a month and a half ago. Forgive me, my time is not correct right now because every day runs into each other. So there is so much data that they have been combing through. There was a little boy.
Okay, we're talking about a little boy caught on a Ring door camera. Hold on.
From here. And it was dark. You couldn't really see his face, but his mannerisms and same body build, same hair, and I freaked the hell out. I swore it was Michael. And come to find out, it was not Michael. It was another little 5-year-old boy that likes to wander. And this was a lady, she was on vacation actually, and she sent it to the Fruitland Police Department. And this was in Caldwell. And the Caldwell Police Department, when after I said, that's my son, ripped that neighborhood apart. Caldwell. And that's pretty close to Boise. So they're not going to tell us every little single detail, and I'm actually kind of grateful for that because it would kill me.
So this is Caldwell right here.
Yeah. All right.
That she was talking about.
I'm going to open it up for questions.
Right here.
Tyler's not here yet. He's still at work. He should be here shortly, so, but I'll do my best.
Hi, Lori. Go ahead. Lori, I accept. You can talk now.
Sorry, I was really thinking about something. Sorry, guys. It kind of just blew my mind what I was thinking about. But anyway.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
There was a lot of that going on in these
Hello?
spaces.
Trafficking ring. And I,
Trigger warning.
I won't go into everything that I found out, but I've gone into a lot of research that ties in to 2 of the sex offenders that were in a very close location.
We're not going to go over that.
Those names. I learned that the other day. Have messaged
Station.
Ooh.
And they were like check-in time, I guess you could say. I don't know. I learned that the other day. Now with calls, they're working around the clock. They had, and on top of Michael missing, and that's what they're focusing on. There were 2 inmates from DOC that escaped from the onion factory. Fruitland Police Department had no idea that DOC had people.
Thank you, Aaron.
So can I tell you something else too? I also, in doing my research, I found out, and I don't want to go into a lot of detail about everything I found. Conclusion.
I couldn't. Mentioned multiple times. Someone saw it on camera. One girls and a boy.
Oh my goodness! Bless your heart.
So I'm wondering.
Sorry, some of these people were a little out there.
He would have even gone like how, I understand, like kids at that age, especially, I don't blame him going out that door. I'm sure people and even myself have looked at Google Earth and saw there's one door right next to the garage, and you have mentioned multiple times he would have just gone out there because it's not as loud.
Thank you, Barb.
At the other door.
Thank you so
and
much.
He was not known, but my question is, like, if he ventured out there to all his friends or potential friends that he wanted to hang out with, how much time would he have had to actually see them all or know, like come back? Does that make sense?
So the,
like if he goes to bed 1 and 2 and 3, like.
So the question was, how much time is he going to have to go out and visit with these these houses to try to play with a friend, right? And you heard some laughter, and that was actually from the person who was recording the Twitter space, not Brandy, because it was just like, I can't wait to see which one she's going to say today, because it's changed so much. So that wasn't Brandy laughing. That was actually whoever recorded the Twitter space. And I actually kind of laughed myself when I heard it. Brooke says she is testing my anxiety control, heart pounding hard, right? Did the mama say the times I've seen him on camera? Yeah. There has been one time where she was like, actually, one person did see him, but we're not going to tell anybody that. And look, if you're not supposed to tell anybody that and you tell somebody that, that means that law enforcement should have told your ass. Oops. Law enforcement should have kept it to themselves and not tell your, right? Is Twitter Space a different website than Twitter? No, so it's on Twitter, and the Twitter Space is kind of like a, it's almost like Facebook group messenger. Except for there's no camera. You don't have your face showing. It's just everybody gets into a meeting and people can listen, and they can request to speak and be on panel, and you have to raise your hand to speak, and there's a moderator. It's pretty cool. You gotta go check it out.
Like, how many friends did he have that he would have actually knocked on the door at?
So there's not a lot of older kids there's not a lot of little kids in our neighborhood.
Right.
He has played with both of our adjacent neighbors' kids, and they're all older. Some of the boys graduated high school before the summer started. But they, Michael's a fun, curious 5-year-old boy. The boys next door love, motocross bikes, and we would sit outside and we would watch the boys do jumps right there by the field off of Arizona. And sometimes the boys would let him rev the engine on the motocross bikes.
And that's exciting for him, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's not like he went and played at all these houses all the time or anything like that. We'd be outside during the summer, you see somebody over the fence, and
cool. Right.
So they just, pick him up. No, he can come play with us. We'll bring him back in a little bit. We're going to jump on the trampoline. I'm like, oh, dear God, okay.
Sure.
So his siblings were more of who he played with, and when me or Tyler are home, or we go to the park and you play with kids at the park, but never, it wasn't like he was going next door every day to play at the boys' house next door every day.
Okay. So there were no specific kids that he always knocked on the door, and sometimes they were available and sometimes they were not.
Correct.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you so much, Brandy, and hang in there.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome, Mallory. Glad you remember again. Thank you, sweetheart.
Nicole, go ahead. Hey, can you all hear me? Yeah. Okay. So, a couple things, and then I'll let some other people ask some questions. But, Brandy, your sister that was with you at the that initial press conference, like right when Michael disappeared, was she there whenever it happened, or did she come up? Like did you call her and she flew out, or?
So that press conference, that's the first time I've seen my baby sister in 12 years. I do talk to her on a frequent basis. She called me Tuesday night and was going to get on a plane Tuesday night. And
there's your answer about the sister, guys.
Hold off, let's see, maybe we'll find it. And it was, I think, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I talked to her again, and 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I think it was about, because that's when the Coast Guard. She was on the soonest flight she could get here.
Does he live there?
Yes. and was here with me for a week. So her at that press conference, her looking all nervous and everything like that. Yeah, we had not slept. It was the first time I've seen her in 12 years, and that's, we had been together for about 18 hours.
So obviously they weren't like super close in a sense of seeing each other all the time. So just to clarify, Brandy's sister, the green hair, right? The one that was standing beside Brandy rather, during the July 30th presser, July 2021. That was her.
So,
well, and I wasn't going to say anything about her looking nervous. I was just curious because I've not seen her since, and I didn't know what it was there. Like, I didn't know you all been talking for 12 years. I mean, I have not looked into it that far.
No, they live far away. All my family lives Midwest and in the South, and.
Yeah, so one of the other things, like, looking, you said there's like 200 houses, and I guess they maybe like got 2 miles that they were like initially focusing on. And looking at like property records and stuff, the house that you guys live in, is that Tyler's dad's house?
Correct.
Does he live there?
Yes.
Okay, so was he there whenever, like, did you have any additional kind of things that he might have noticed? Was he there when Michael left?
No. He had gone out that afternoon. He went to go get a haircut and get a shave, and then he went to his favorite watering hole and had dinner and drinks with, he's retired. He just retired 2 years ago. And visiting with some friends, and, came home. He pulled up to the same thing I pulled up to. She was on the soonest flight she could get here. So
I've not seen her since, and
and in the South, and
that they were like initially focusing on. Does he live there?
Yes.
Okay, so was he there whenever, like, did you have any additional kind of things that he might have noticed? Was he there when Michael left?
No. He had gone out that afternoon. He went to go get a haircut and get a shave, and then he went to his favorite watering hole and had dinner and drinks with, he's retired. He just retired 2 years ago. And visiting with some friends, and, came home. He pulled up to the same thing I pulled up to. He had no idea what was going on.
Okay. If you got to get rid of me, Crystal, you can. I'll...
So that's kind of important, right? He wasn't there when it happened. Brandy didn't specifically say what time and all that stuff at this point. What she does say is that, he went to get his haircut, went to his favorite watering hole, went to have dinner and drinks with some friends. He just retired 2 years ago. So she's saying basically he does what he damn well pleases and lives his life, retired. He does things when he wants, how he wants. And I'm paraphrasing that, right? But, he just went and did what Bob does, whatever he wants. I wonder what her sister thinks of what happened to Michael. Yeah. Rusty's Pancake and Steakhouse, right? That was one of the places he went to, yeah. We don't know exactly where the watering hole was. But later on, when Brandy was asked to clarify what time Bob left for the day, she said, I don't know. We really don't pay too much attention to time around here unless it's work. So they're like, well, go ask him, man. Go. Okay. So, she's going to allegedly ask Tyler about what time Bob the afternoon is what she literally said. She didn't even finish the sentence as she was, in my opinion, fake asking Tyler, but she may have been asking. And then she just kind of sits silently, and everyone was like, well, did you ask him? Yeah, somewhere in the afternoon. That is the time that she states, sometime in the afternoon after 12. Ironically, that's when she went to work. Her shift started at 12:30 that day. So do we know anything about where he actually was? Speaking about Bob, the grandfather. No, we don't know jack about him. Yeah, and I would really like to. That's for damn sure.
Okay, nah problem. Danielle.
Hey, Mama, me again. Okay, so I'm going by a couple of things. With the picture of the actual picture of the car was tweeted out. Somebody responded to me noticing there is no front license plate. So, and she had said there's only so many states that
This isn't really relevant right now.
allow to not have a front license plate.
This morning, I tried.
Also, 2 other missing kids.
They may want to consider.
White Honda Pilot, and one of them was in a car dealership, and this gentleman was saying that he knows where Michael is. He's in Massachusetts? Remember that one? There's been a lot. And they did warn us that this was going to happen, but
I hope he's spending Christmas in jail. I really do. Get back to us, let us know. We can get a couple of.
I'm not saying 100% sure because
ISP get involved.
They were here the next morning for sure, probably sooner than that.
Okay, you're going to hear just now, I'm going to replay it. You're going to hear Tyler speak. He does speak rarely, but here and there in these spaces that are hosted, by someone else. So Tyler and Brandy did have Twitter spaces that they gathered with other people that they hosted themselves, right? Or people that were like besties, So I just want to explain that, but here he goes.
I think they were here when Idaho Search and Rescue. Remember when they were in the backyard? They had dog tracking and they had human trackers here by 11 o'clock that night.
Yes.
And I want to say, I'm not guaranteed. I'm not saying 100% sure because it was a blur.
Mm-hmm.
But if they weren't here when Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue got here, then they were here very shortly after, and they were definitely here first thing that morning. It was, what time was the helicopter flying over? Early. Yeah, because Kira had practice, 7 a.m.? So I want to say 5, 6 a.m. The sun was up.
Okay. How long have you and Tyler lived
Rainey,
there?
nobody speaks. Bob doesn't
3
speak,
years.
I mean.
Okay. All right. There's any of these I want to save so that you don't have to keep repeating yourself. Okay. That's the only ones I wanted to do just so you're not getting hounded.
Just anybody. You started work at.
Okay. That's there. Welcome, darling.
Excuse me. Cole, you got your hand up. Go ahead. Thank you. So, more questions. You started work at a new work, right before, right? Like maybe a couple weeks before. Was it a couple weeks before? 2 weeks before?
8 days.
8. Oh, that's shorter than I thought. So, in terms of work, I know at one point, it might have been News Nation where we were talking about it, and you had a kind of different feeling about what might have happened. Did anything weird happen, at work that first week that you were there? Where was anybody being weird? Did you have any confrontations with anybody?
And I don't even know his name actually. He.
When did he realize that he wasn't in the house?
Okay, I skipped over the part about her explaining that there was a kind of random weird dude walking into Albertsons and then running away. And there was, I am sure that Fruitland PD has looked into that. So the speculation from that guy, we're not going to go into it. Brandy hasn't publicly come out and said that there was an issue beyond what she explained in December. So I don't want that. I mean, you can go listen to it for yourself. But from what we have gathered and looked at, I don't see that being the big issue. It wasn't really brought up multiple times or anything like that, to my knowledge. And I just don't want people to jump on that and try to find this guy. And it could be not true, right? I will upload this entire spaces on my channel so that you guys can go through themselves if you're researching the case. Just wanted to let you know that's why I skipped that.
After I thoroughly searched the house,
What is it?
I turned the house upside down.
I figured that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out is like how many minutes between like realizing he was gone, like to figure out how far he could have gotten.
I don't know. I probably walked out of the house at about 7 o'clock, which is about the same time Kira left.
Yeah.
So, and I probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes between outside and inside, maybe.
Okay. And you said, I heard you before say that like he was allowed to be in the backyard, but he knew he wasn't allowed in the front yard. So it was possible that maybe he was out in the backyard playing, but you checked there and he wasn't there, and he wasn't up or down the road.
I saw he wasn't in the backyard, and I assumed he was inside playing with his brother or something. And then when I went inside and he wasn't with Ben, then I started to panic and searched the rest of the house, double-checked the backyard, left the house.
Let's go over that one more again. Let's see what he says.
Inside, maybe?
Me as a mom, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I was home when what happened to me happened, but I feel like I would be calling 911, so I wanted to be clear that he was the one that called, because when did he realize that he wasn't in the house?
After I thoroughly searched the house.
What is it?
I turned the house upside down.
I figured that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out is like how many minutes between like realizing he was gone, like to figure out how far he could have gotten.
I don't know. I probably walked out of the house at about 7 o'clock, which is about the same time Kira left.
Yeah.
So, and I probably, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes between outside and inside, maybe.
All right, so let's work on that, right? We just went over earlier. If you're just coming in, it's going to be a bit back. But we know that Brandy states that one neighbor saw him, right, at 6:37. He was not seen on CCTV footage, right? He orders the pizza at 6:40. He tears up the house, stating that it's going to take about 8 to 12 minutes, right? 8 to 12 minutes to do that. So at the latest, we're going to say 6:52, right? And he's kind of estimating, okay, and about that time, you know, I realize he's not there, right? This is the time that the eldest, Blue, the oldest daughter, is leaving to go to a friend's house that was already pre-approved. It wasn't like she was just like, see ya. And someone was picking her up. So the friend's stepdad was picking her up. Do we know what vehicle? No. Do we know any of the details? No. But here's the thing. It kind of makes sense, actually, what he's saying and on this part, because, you know, Brandy states that there was pings of the eldest, Blue, leaving at around 6:48 to 6:49, right? So she probably left right before he was like really peaking to freak out. So that does leave about an 5 to 8 minute window before 7 o'clock. But it also leaves an additional 5 minutes. So 13 minutes from that time that the oldest leaves, roughly about 6:50, we'll just round it up, right? So 6:50, actually, 15 minutes, because 7:05 p.m. is when Tyler states that he calls Brandy, and we confirm that with the call logs. Again, can call logs be manipulated. Yes, of course. So it's 15 minutes from the time older sister leaves till he calls Brandy and then gets into the vehicle at the same time to go drive to wherever. All right. Think about that for a second. Hi, Bullhorn. Sorry, just getting back. Yeah. You can know, I'm going to timestamp this to kind of help and probably clip out some stupid stuff like, me trying to find the timestamps on this recording. But think about that. Missy is leaving 8 minutes after the pizza, right? Tyler is stating it takes anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes to search for and tear up the house. That's actually kind of logical at that point. Yeah, 6:48 to 6:49, but I'm just going to round it up there. But it is, Dope is correct. 6:48 to 6:49, she is pinged leaving the home. So it makes you wonder, all right, bare minimum from 6:50 to 7:21, which was the 911 call. That's a lot of time, in my opinion, right? For there to be some searches or some walking and some whatever before 911 was called. And that's a long time to me. As a mother, I would be calling 911 immediately if I can't find, my missing child within, like, I would say 3 to 5 minutes, right? There was a long time, in my opinion, to call 911. Whoever called, we don't know who actually called. So what do you guys think about that? Swear on everything. I said that exact same thing, says Ernst. Nothing more or less than, than tried to interact with her when she was in a live I moderated and she was the D word, and blocked me. Oh my God. So Bullhorn states, excuse me, guys. Do you find it odd, that they let the eldest leave? Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's always funny. I get choked up on these lives when I hit a really good point. I get choked up every time. It's like, don't say it. Don't say it. My mods can confirm that. You'd think that they would have, no, you're not going anywhere until your brother is found. Right. I mean, that kind of makes you wonder what was going on in the old cranium, right? To think that was like an okay thing to do. Like, no, we're going to find him. Just go on about your way. But I know for a fact that when I hid in a tree, I did this. I was like 7 or 8. I hid in the tree to make my sister mad because she was talking on the phones with her friends. And I was like, needy and stuff. It only took her maybe 2 minutes tops to notice that I was gone and not hear me. And she called the cops immediately. And I was like, wait, and literally fell out of the tree because I felt bad. Because I knew I was going to get, my little handed to me if my parents found out, right? So I felt kind of bad about that. No, I am not needy. I think it was a revenge thing. Needy's a bad word because I'm not needy. It was revenge because she wasn't paying attention to me and what I wanted because I'm kind of a asshole sometimes. Yeah, and it really terrified her. She was freaking out, but she knew to call. She knew what to do. And she was, I think, 14? Can't remember. Yeah, about 14, 15, 16. Especially since, Ruby Rose, especially since Monkey tended to run around to neighbors' houses. Panic so soon seems like a word slip. And if panicked, why wait so long to call 911? Yeah, I'm sorry, there's a long time. To me, that's a long time. That's 30 minutes from, let's just say 6:50, right, to 7:21. That's 31 minutes. Why was the other brother out searching if he was watching Buggy? That is, I believe, after the fact when there was people home to watch. So at the time, I believe Dope Mike can confirm this better than me, but the oldest was 14 or 15, and the second oldest, which is, we're going to call him Red because we call the oldest Blue, he, I believe, was 11 or 12. I think 11. Oh, Dope said it, 14 and 12. Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to really nail that in. That is a hell of a long time, in my opinion.
Okay. And you said, I heard you before say that, like, he was allowed to be in the backyard, but he knew he wasn't allowed in the front yard. So it was possible that maybe he was out in the backyard playing, but you checked there and he wasn't there, and he wasn't up or down the road.
I saw he wasn't in the backyard, and I assumed he was inside playing with his brother or something. And then when I went inside and he wasn't with Ben, then I started to panic and searched the rest of the house, double-checked the backyard, left the house.
So, Randy, you said it is a straight road.
Yes.
So if you run out to the road, you look up and down the road, you would have seen him in the road. But you're thinking about 7 o'clock is by the time you got outside?
When I left to go driving was 7 o'clock.
Oh, so you would have already been outside and you didn't see him. And that, like, okay.
I didn't go up front. I was looking out back where I thought he would be, and he was not. And then I searched the entire inside of the house and then left. Right.
I see. And then when you got in the car, did you happen to head in the direction that they saw this Honda Pilot?
I went straight to the splash pad.
I'm sorry?
I went straight to the splash pad, which is exactly where the Honda Pilot was photoed. That was the first place I checked, was the splash pad down the street.
And if Michael would have been walking, he wouldn't have gotten that far that fast. He was in flip-flops. I just bought those flip-flops for him 3 days prior. And he was just learning how to walk in them. And we know that he lost one, and one of the neighbors across the street out their window saw him stop and put his flip-flop back on and continue on his way. So there's no way in hell he would have gotten that far in that time. Yeah. And Tyler not being able to see him on either street, any street.
Well, I mean, so basically what we're thinking is...
So y'all heard that, right? Neighbors saw him slipping up in his flip-flops that she had just bought from Albertsons, right? And that it slipped off and he was having trouble and put it back on. Dory, I remind myself continuously that a lot of this info is Brandy's words and statements. Very few things are confirmed by law enforcement. Yes, please always keep that in the back of your mind. Never confirm anything if law enforcement hasn't backed it. Per their words. The only place to get credible firsthand information is from the Facebook City of Fruitland Police Department page. 911 was telling me what to do and I could not follow directions at all. I was in full-blown panic. Yeah. Everybody's different, right? For sure. And we always have to keep that in our minds. Brianna, what did she say? I'm looking. That's what I was thinking, but couldn't remember exactly. It was after midnight. Okay. I gotcha.
From the neighbor that saw him at 6:37 to the time that the Honda Pilot was there at 6:47, probably, let's say by 6:50, which was before Tyler was even able to get out of the house, like in the vehicle, he would have potentially already been gone.
Yes.
So then who? I guess I'm just trying to figure out which name, like who actually physically saw him last. Since he's not on camera and he did knock on other doors. Let's say 2 more doors. Was he working his way down the street towards where the Honda would have been? Like, was he going in order? I mean, 5-year-olds are smart. I have a 3-year-old that's like smarter than I am most times. Did he go from like one house to the next in a row and like head down the road that way?
He went to the next door neighbor.
What?
And then across the street and out the other 2 houses.
Yeah. So what Dad was telling me today is because the old couple on over there, not these ones that saw him put a sandal back on. I didn't know they saw him too. They saw him.
Right across the street.
Yeah, right across the street were the ones that saw him with the sandal. The ones next to them, the old guy that can't stand up straight. Yeah, him. They saw Michael. But they saw Michael coming back this way. So he probably went and knocked on the door with the other trampoline and the swing set. They got the 2-year-old down there, right? And they're the ones that did the shirts and everything. And then came back and knocked on this door's house right here, and then went across the street 2 houses down. And that was the last place he was seen.
Okay, hold on. She's speaking, guys, she's speaking like we can fucking, excuse my language, like we can see what the hell she's talking about. And I hate this one so much because I remember trying to follow this so hard and literally got off of the recording and threw my keyboard. I was like, this is bullshit. And I'm sorry I get mad about this one because I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Good point, Brooklyn. This was 5 months later, right? This was 5 months later. Mm-hmm. All of these spaces and recordings are months after he went missing, not right after, correct? Sorry, I get really heated about this freaking space. I've heard it so many times and I can never follow it and get so upset about it. Heather, you said it. Hey, guidance. Yeah. So, Sleuthy, who was on the panel right now asking questions, she's like, wait, so, and I know that there is already a map, but I don't want people to see the map that the work was already done and other recordings had to be, like, I want them to see what was going on at the time and what we're listening to. I don't care about what we know and what we figured out, by the way. This is to show you how, where's my voice mod? How difficult it's been. It really has. It's been like pulling teeth.
With what you just found out about these other people that saw him, the man, the kid standing on the street, how many neighbors total saw him?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So he knocked on 6 doors?
No, he didn't knock on 6 doors. They seen him, you know, summer day, small neighborhood, people, you know.
So 6 people.
The guy across.
Did y'all, was that clear? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Brandy, she just should have not showed it, right? Was that clear as mud? Do y'all know which ones to go to? Yeah.
They have chairs on their front porch, you know. They're an retired couple.
Was that 637 neighbor, was that the first neighbor that saw him?
Yes.
So within 10 minutes, 6 people saw him. How many doors do you think he knocked on?
3.
All right, so in a 10-minute span, Mr. Monkey ping-ponged around and knocked on 3 doors, and 6 of them, 6 neighbors saw Monkey allegedly knocked on 3 doors. Clear as mud? And we are going to wrap it up here in 8 minutes. We'll do another live. I'll do as many as I can and spread them out and let you guys know next time ahead of time. But we're going to work through these. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, 2 doors after the 637.
So 3 total.
Yes.
Okay. So somebody else, Danielle can.
Did I say that?
She did say, did I say that right? She did say that. Now, it's very confusing. We're all confused. I'm confused. But you got to know your shit. Gosh darn it. You got to know your when you're dealing with your missing child, guys, period. You got to know. Law enforcement said they have several persons of interest. No suspects, Birdie. No suspects, just persons of interest. Just persons of interest.
Because he knocked on their door, and their door. And he went there first.
Oh, okay.
He knocked on that door because they were getting ready to go to the grocery store. So.
Me again, Mama. God sent a question. The way I think that this would be best is if we could kind of redo what you said yesterday to explain the layout of the house with the fenced in part and everything so people have that visual.
Okay, so we have a living room, we have a hallway and our bedrooms, and then there's a wall, and you have a giant.
Really smart.
Pop up like I went and
to answer whatever I possibly can. Is how our life is, how how that day went. So I'm hoping that I'm making it clear enough for everyone.
Really smart and able to somehow produce information and.
Thank you. Pull every single door. I don't know why I haven't asked, to be honest with you, why they haven't released a picture of that man. Maybe because it's a privacy thing. I don't know.
This is talking about the walking man.
You figured if you were in this area, you knew what was going on. There's no way in hell, if you don't know what happened that night, you're living under a fucking rock. Michael's face is literally on every single pole, every single door, for a 15-mile radius, at the very least. And I'm not exaggerating. So, if for you not to come forward, I don't know what that's all about. I really don't. Some people, they don't want to get involved. They don't, or maybe they were doing something they weren't supposed to, but it was completely unrelated. So, there's...
But you're talking about the ring camera, right? But was this other man caught on the ring camera? He was, right?
So this was on not the ring camera, but the CCTV. And they watched him walk through. There's cameras all around this duplex, and it's right across the street on the top of 8. When you come in on 8th Street, and then the ring doorbell camera that picks up the vehicles, the side vehicles, and see where they can turn, but then loses sight of them as they can't see them when they go left. If they go down left Whitley, but it's a dead-end drive. Unless you live down there, there's no reason to be down there. Right. So those are the 2 points where they have cameras, and they watched that man walk through the park, through the splash pad, through the park, and down below to the. There's a field, and then they say drainage system, and it's a canal. And then there's a hill, and on top of the hill, there's houses and a few businesses behind it. I'll walk and video all of this so everybody can see. Yeah, it's just give you a visual of what this is, but unless unless you lived over there or you were doing something shady, there's no reason to be back there.
And like the people that live back there or own the property back there, like I would assume that law enforcement asked, if they had any visitors.
Yep.
And nobody had, right?
Correct. There was a lady out there walking down the hill to the canal, and her legs were literally bleeding because of all of the goat head bushes. And it's a steep hill. It's not, at least. It's crap times, but right. If you turn right onto Whitley and don't continue straight to the stop where the highway starts.
Yeah, so I'll be honest, like we've looked at every single house and we've picked out the ones that have what look like cameras, and that's about what we were thinking. I didn't know if maybe they came to you, like it came out like later, so, but it's possible that they were holding on to that for a little while to kind of see what happened.
All right, so that's enough brain jumbling for today. I will upload the entirety of the spaces and put timestamps for you guys. It doesn't have to be this complicated. I just wanted you to know, that these were public spaces straight from the horse's mouth. And this is a good point to start with the December 19th, 2021 spaces. What we're going to do is continue on from everything that was said beyond that up until this point, so that we can really get your thoughts and opinions and brainstorming, because it does take a group. It does take a lot of people sometimes to talk about different theories, different, speculations. And I would love to get your opinion in the comments. I think it's important. This is how the true crime community should be communicating and working on their due diligence to help if that's what they want, not fighting each other and things like that. I did see some in the chat try to do that, and that's not acceptable here. We don't do that. And Tristan, we can comment down now. That'd be great. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me for an hour and 45 minutes. I really appreciate your help. Again, I will post the December 19th Twitter Spaces here shortly so that you can look and review it yourself. I got the timestamps here. Again, thank you so much. Drink your water. Hug your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies. Hug yourself. Let's brainstorm and do this the right way. True crime community. I will see you on the next live. Look out for part 2. Bye, guys.